right, hello everyone, it's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action. This is the losers finals between for 19XX Ace 4 between Zqxx and sharpobject. And it looks like they're going to right into it. So this is for the winner of this will fight me in grand finals from the loser side. It's going to be interesting to see this match. I haven't seen Zqxx play a ton, so it's always exciting. He's a very strong player, obviously having a great showing in this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, all right, so this is one of the ones I didn't math out. I expected it to be between Argagarg and Midori on Zqxx's side, and BBB and Gloria on sharpobject's side. BBB Gloria is kind of the 19XX stable for sharpobject. Zqxx has been playing some Gwen. I don't know how much Gwen offhand now in this tournament, and has been having a fair amount of success actually. So I'm not too surprised actually to see him bring the Gwen out rather than risk either Midori versus BBB or Arg versus Gloria. I think Gwen sounds like to me like it's his kind of best counter pick against both. It's kind of like a character that performs not as well, like obviously not as well as a hard counter pick to your opponent's character, but a character that you feel comfortable playing against the range of characters you expect most likely from your opponent. So this will be an interesting matchup. Obviously, when they're not at range, when they're in close like right now, Gwen has enormous pressure. She's got a lot of dodges she can play, and her 2 and generally her king, even her jack starter is not that bad, is not that slow in this matchup. And this can lead to just massive amounts of damage. So expect Gwen's damage output to be very explosive, and BBB to kind of get his ass kicked at close range, but then make adjustments. So the longer the game goes, the more it's going to go in BBB's favor. The faster this match is over, the more it's going to be in Gwen's favor. BBB does have some nice tools when he is in close like this. Obviously his double ace super at 0.20 speed is the dominant speed attack except for queen. But it deals 21 as opposed to a maximum of 10 to Gwen's queen. So is generally going to be the more powerful combat defining move. His single ace is also very good. Single ace is, I believe, 1.2 speed. 1.4. What is her king's speed? 1.2. Okay, so that's a little unfortunate. So that's probably going to minimize the amount of single ace spent by BBB. He does have ways of making his jacks uncounterable or uninterruptible. So he essentially has his jacks as a reversal option. Notably, Gwen's damage, except if she starts with Jack starter, is not very front loaded. So she is very, very vulnerable to blue burst and enhanced Jack. So yeah, so far, I mean, sharpobject got beat up a little bit here. Zqxx is spending a lot of dodges, basically forcing sharpobject to attempt throws if he wants to find damage. And punching out these kings is very, very useful, making it so that his Gwen's attack dodge range is very difficult for BBB to deal with if he wants to go to range, which may be something that is, I don't know much about this matchup. Maybe range is not that important, I expect, I mean, obviously it's BBB's advantage time. If he loses combat in it, it's, you know, he takes no damage. So obviously that's all well, and you would be happy if you find range. Ooh, gets a dodge tossed. Big hand from Gwen here. But it may be possible that the importance of throwing while in close is much more important to this matchup than it may at first seem. It's generally something you need to do as BBB against characters who can dodge a lot, to kind of take away your ability to put them at range, except for with your king throw. BBB can, I mean, he has fairly good throw speeds. Gwen's are 0.6, BBB's are 0.4, yeah. So he has the more powerful throws. Obviously, if he actually punches out a throw on Gwen's side, his damage is not huge, but it can be quite significant, especially if he tacks on an ace or a pumped queen, or if he hits with Robo Headbutt. He can connect with a significant amount of damage. But so far, it's looking like Zqxx is just trying to close this out with kind of minimal risk. I expect a hard commitment to dodge attack. Yeah. And sharpobject, to his credit, is playing really, really bravely. He's just playing defensive, trying to get as many cards into his hand as possible so that he can start doing this power-up game. And now he can play kind of the usual game plan against Gwen, which is just threaten reversals. Threaten to punch her out with massive damage that is faster than 1.0 speed. There's the dodge. Sharpobject sinks a throw. Probably going to see a queen or single ace come out here. Yeah, there's really no way you can let Gwen bluff from this position. You need to be able to deal damage. So no follow-up power-up here, it looks like. So if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet that sharpobject has another ace and plays double ace here. Or he might use the kind of... Ooh, okay. Did not expect that. Oh, this might be lethal unless he's got... And he doesn't. Okay. So Zqxx wins game 1, Gwen versus BBB. Are we going to see Gwen versus Gloria, sister battle? I don't know how sharpobject feels about that. Okay, he feels better about it than BBB versus Gwen. Fair enough. So some interesting interactions in this particular matchup. Obviously, every time that Gloria uses her jacks, Gwen gets a little bit healed as well. It's overall still a point of damage towards her, but it can look kind of odd and interesting. Oh my god. Devastating opener from sharpobject there with a 3 attack. Winning combat, gets 2 aces. I believe he gets to overdose off of this? Or is that after? You have to have it before you can... Yeah, okay. Never mind. Yeah, so you have to have the aces in hand in order to overdose. I think you can overdose off of a successful gold burst. But I'm not sure. Nice queen. Gloria does kind of control, 1.0, 2.2 speed. So Gwen's going to want to hold on to 2s, win combat with 2s. She's going to want to be dodging some fair amount to get around that, to get around Gloria's queens. But yeah, it's very interesting. Gloria's aces pushing people to, pushing towards the end game. Oh, the devastating 7th throw. Nice bit of risk there for Sharp Object. No follow-up on that one either, which is a little interesting. I mean, his hand is fairly low, so not incredibly surprised there. Could indicate kind of a weakness in terms of what's available in his hand. Gwen having a 22 damage super throw, not insignificant, I think, in this matchup. You can kind of get yourself out of checkmates with that as an option. Not from this position where you're knocked down. I think a high probability that Sharp Object just plays a fast attack here. Ideally a queen from his perspective. Yeah, there's the queen. So he only takes 10 here. Very likely, I think, we see an overdose after this. He's got, yeah, a 10 hit point lead. Still might be worth it. Definitely seems to be considering it. Yeah, hard in the think tank here. I think ultimately that makes a lot of sense. Getting super thrown here will put him at 12, which is still, you know, enough hit points to overdose again. The hesitation is more likely perhaps to indicate that he does not have another face card and might be hesitating on that account. But still, a very strong position from Sharp Object here. Zqxx does have to consider just any attack as a potential. Yeah, and that is going to be game. Oh, not quite. But pretty much impossible for Zqxx to win from this position. Yeah. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, Gwen deals herself damage every turn. Never mind. So, this is one of those spot lethal puzzles where it's just a fundamental misreading of the game state on my part. So very strong performance by Sharp Object there. Do we see Zqxx switch to Midori is the question. He has about a 55-45. I'm not sure how to interpret that comment exactly. He might be referencing the fact that he's probably going to win. Oh, no. Okay. Sticks to Gwen. Interesting. So Zqxx has a Midori. He has played him a little bit in 19XX, so maybe he's not as comfortable in the matchup as he thinks he needs to be to take on a Gloria of Sharp Object's caliber, which is fair. So his performance overall in the Midori versus Gloria matchup is 55-45. But Sharp Object's Gloria versus Midori is only 10 to 90. He loses it about 90% of the time historically. So I mean, looking at those stats, I probably pick into Midori, but I can say that as somebody who's fairly comfortable playing Midori generally, but also Midori versus Gloria. So yeah, it sounds like Zqxx took a bit of mental damage on that last game. I think that's very dangerous to reveal to your opponent. You know, that exchange saying like the rest of the set, you know, may end up being a formality, and then thinking about it and sticking with Gwen now sounds like a lack of confidence in the matchup. And that's always a very rough spot to be in. I think 19XX is kind of, it definitely puts me in that position. Being a Troc main, it's not a format where I can rely on. I can't rely on the character that is the most, feels the most solid and safe to me, that I have the most confidence in against an entire field of different characters. So I have to spend a lot more time really thinking about which of the characters I know enough about I should be picking on. So yeah, Zqxx might be feeling that a bit. Still, he's not out of this game yet. Wow, that is a daring and turns out correct 3 block there. Unwilling or unable to wake up with something fast. Very strong indication that he does not have a 2, or that he very strongly suspected a queen to come out there from sharp object. Ooh, and there is that unfortunate speed interaction for Zqxx. Yeah, full pump from sharp object, trying to make each of these combats count. Has the other ace. Still only 10 damage between these two. So random queen equalizes the life totals. Zqxx powering up 10s. Interesting. Is it worth to keep 10s? It's so tough to say. I think, I don't know. Certainly in comparison to having 2 aces in hand, I don't know how helpful having a bunch of 10s is. Oh no. Zqxx going for the okie doke. Giving him the throw. And sharp object hits him with the queen again. And this is looking like another lost match. Especially with 3 aces in the discard, it's going to be very, very difficult to make anything happen here. Okay, there we go. That's one way to come back, to give yourself an out. So he needs to be able to dodge into 22. I think the queen from sharp object there very strongly implies a joker, though. So this might, in fact, just be a lost game. 2 aces in the discard. Did not heal for either of them. Kept the queen. So does he have another ace in hand? Yeah, okay. Certainly implies it. And that is going to be game number 3. And I think at this point you switch to Midori. If you have any confidence in Midori, you switch to him. It is going to open you up to the BBB counter pick. But as I've come to realize, that is not an unwinnable matchup for Midori. Maybe I only feel that way because I've been playing... Yeah, there we go. Because I've been playing, or I remember playing Rook versus BBB, which really does feel unwinnable. But Midori has tremendous burst damage. If he's able to escape range with a gold burst, that puts him very, very far ahead and into a position where he can very credibly threaten Dragon Buster. 52 damage, and 52 damage is a lot against an 80 health character. It's a lot against any character. So comebacks are definitely very real with him. He's got dodges, all that sort of stuff. So let's see how both of these players play this. So Sharp Object in this matchup in particular, I feel like he plays a lot of high normals when he doesn't really need to. He might just be angling for more essentially what he was going for there, where he attacks with a 5 and then you're like, wait, but Midori doesn't have SPDs, so I can just play this 4, and then you get hit by the 2. I mean, you do have to play risky. As the character in the unfavored side of the matchup, you do have to take risks in order to win the game. You have to be right far more than your opponent. Oh, and you have to not take 30 damage randomly out of nowhere, and that's why Midori is such a threat in this matchup. 0.6 speed uppercut that leads with 14 damage, first of all. And then you can also combo into another 16 or another 8 damage after that. And Gloria has a very, very hard time with burst damage. Ooh. And the hits keep coming and they don't stop coming. 20 hit points remain for Sharp Object. That is 2 combat exchanges. The only question now is, does Zqxx have enough gas in the tank to close this out? Ace does lose to Singleton Queen on Sharp Object side. He's got the healing spheres to start powering for jokers, for finding his other queens, for finding his kings. Gloria does control a lot of room with 1.0 and 2.2 speed attacks. Zqxx just sitting back saying, you can heal a little bit, you can recover a little bit. Anytime I draw into a queen or a 10, that is essentially 4 turns of healing that I will negate. So I don't mind you crawling up a little bit. I'm still at 90 hit points. I just don't want to lose at this point. And until Midori plays a 2 and assumes dragon form, he is not going to be risking much on each individual combat. Ooh, there we go. Gets opened up by the king. If Sharp Object wants to make stuff happen here, he is going to have to overdose though, and that also plays very nicely into Midori's game plan. So he's going to be hovering at this kind of 20, 24, 30 hit point range, where Midori can really make things happen with a single queen, with a random normal into 2 aces, with a king throw, with a dragon king throw. Yeah, so dicey stuff. Whoa, the wake up king though is going to flip it around for that extra 5 damage. This is going to allow Sharp Object to get 1 more turn of healing and drawing off of his healing spheres, but my god, look at that. It's going to be at 9. Definitely a rough spot to be. Nearly lethal to any normal throw. Dodge into normal throw, therefore, becomes very strong. Again, just random queen with another 10 in hand is devastating at this point. So Sharp Object needs to be very, very right, and even if he wins combat from this position, unless he exactly wins with Jack into a bunch more Jacks, it's going to be a while before he can overdose again. So he kind of has to win honestly from this position, or play honestly from this position. Okay, there we go. That's a start. Zqxx just trying to close things out with another king. Does put the face down. Okay, prevents a bunch of damage. Not a bad idea. Will Sharp Object overdose here? No, he will not. Gets the Ace of Clubs back. He's already redrawn the Ace of Hearts, so he's got at least 2 aces in hand. Picks up a 5. Interesting. Is this a bait for a queen? It's like, oh, I'm picking up this 5, please. Don't queen me. Okay, it is practically the only heart in his discard. Never mind. Oh, brutal. Gets tossed. This is not lethal unless 2 jacks, and he's already played 2, so it's very unlikely to be lethal. I don't really see a need for follow-up here. Zqxx giving it a lot of thought. Maybe he does have 2 jacks. Okay, no, just goes for the 6. Just thinking about whether he wanted to leave him at exactly 9. Yeah, I don't know. I think tossing the 6 on there makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you don't want to. Ooh! LeMayo indeed get hit with that sun and moon. That is nearly 50% of Zqxx's remaining health. And wow! The follow-up triple jack of destiny. 44 damage. And a heck of a tempo swing. Alright, still sitting at just below 40. A lot of jacks remaining to contend with. 15 hit points on Sharp Object side. Wow. Making it happen here. Oh, gets him with the throw. This is going to go into another 2 jacks, I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay, has the other Joker, so he's going to get a little bit of healing off of here. Sharp Object back at 23, though. Yeah, Zqxx actually gained health on that combat. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, he's already spent all of the aces, so there was no overdose there. Ooh, okay. All right. We're back into dicey territory. You know, the threat of Dragon Queen has got to be weighing pretty heavily on your mind here as Sharp Object. Just plays the Joker. What a genius. It's like, you're not dodging here. Dodging is risky. You're definitely either queening or kinging me here. Yeah, there's the overdose. Still puts him at 13, and Dragon Form has not been removed. So he's going to heal here. He'll be up at 17. Okay, Zqxx picking up an ace. That does kind of indicate like the signal he's sending, whether he's doing it intentionally or unintentionally, is that he doesn't have the queen. Because why would you want to pick up the ace if you have the queen already? It could indicate that he doesn't have another normal throw, or he doesn't have lethal off of normal throw, which would also indicate that he doesn't have a jack. So he may exactly have 1 queen, 1 ace, and some amount of dodges. There's the queen. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, so nicely signaled by Zqxx. Oh, had the other jack. Okay, never mind. So, wow, that was that certainly got tense. Nicely played by Sharp Object to push that to the absolute limit. And there we go, the switch to BBB. So, how will Zqxx play this out? So, as I was saying, this is not a terrible matchup for Midori. It certainly doesn't feel great, but it is not as bad as I used to think it was. That is very possible to be 16 damage, right? So Jack is a very good spacing tool in neutral with a lot of upper limit to how much damage it deals. So he is going to go to range here. If he has a 2, he can go to Dragon Form here and really put a lot of pressure on the BBB player, on Sharp Object. To make the right call, because if you go block, then you've let Midori out to to close the gap, to come back in close with Dragon Form still on. Okay, this is an absolutely fantastic position for Zqxx to be in. He's at range. His opponent doesn't seem to have queen or king, so at this point I'm feeling very comfortable just to sit back and block. Okay, so nicely done by Sharp Object to make the throw that much more likely. So he went in for the attack on the first turn just to see if Zqxx was going to go for a hard throw read and just play a normal. But now he's going to start weaving in normals, and oh, interesting. I'm Oh, okay. I think, I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, I think blocking there as BBB is perhaps an error. The worst thing that can happen to you, he might not have any normals in hand anymore, which would be really rough. But if you have a normal there, I think you play it almost 100% of the time. The worst thing that happens to you, well, actually, Gold Burst. Yeah, okay, never mind, never mind. I take it back. I take it back. Blocking a Gold Burst there would be really, really helpful. You do not want to get, you do not want Midori to escape from range with two aces. So blocking the Gold Burst is definitely something to keep in mind and to play for. I was going to say, like, the worst thing that happens to BBB there is if he plays a normal and Zqxx plays a queen and turns it around, spending a 10. But then he's escaped range and lost two very important cards, a dodge and a queen, and he's dealt you no damage. So from that perspective, you know, I didn't love it. But given these plays now, I think it's possible, perhaps even very likely, that Sharp Object actually doesn't have any range setting normals in hand. He could have, I mean, it's an indicator if he's playing these sevens that he could have a queen in hand that he really wants to combo into. Maybe has aces, but very likely also that he just has a very awkward hand that he's having to deal with. Lots of throws. If he's got a throw kind of logged hand, it can be difficult to convert that into any significant amount of damage. But Zqxx playing this very bravely, actually, weaving some blocks in, perhaps catching on to the fact that Sharp Object doesn't seem to have any normals that he's willing to play. Sharp Object could you be blocking more because it's very risky to throw BBB, and Zqxx has not yet played a normal throw while in close. There it is, and unfortunately, it's exactly the wrong time to do it. Sometimes it just works out like that. Combo into queen or combo into ace, or just tack on a jack, I suppose. Very unlikely for that to be real, yeah. You really, really need to hold your aces or your jokers for when you are at range. It gives you that much more. It's actually your only effective tool out of range that beats normals in this matchup. So just like the Quince versus BBB matchup, you are only using your jokers as gold bursts unless something has gone very, very odd in the game state. Okay, overdrive. So threatening a unblockable queen here. Dodge is very much in the range here for BBB. This could be the hardest possible block where he's trying to bait a gold burst or a dragon queen. Unfortunately, he gets the worst of that exchange. Zqxx gets the dream, and Sharp Object is below 52 health. So a scary spot to be in. Yeah, immediate dragon form, and this is why this matchup is not all that bad. It's going to be won or lost in the next couple of exchanges, probably. Yeah, there's that hard read from Sharp Object saying, no, there's no way you Dragon Buster me. You are too afraid of me attacking with Joker backup. So I'm just going to toss you. You're going to go to range. You're going to lose Dragon Form. You're going to have two aces in hand, which don't get you out of this. And I think it's very likely that we see... Ooh. Okay, I kind of love this, actually. I think it's very likely that if Sharp Object has a king throw, he goes for it here. I think that is a very low risk, high payoff move. Ooh, wow, okay. No, had the cojones to sit back and block that wake up jack. Nicely played on Sharp Object side. I would not have I would have got hit there 100% of the time if I had a king. Okay, there we go. Now we're swinging back into Zqxx's favor. Sharp Object seems not to have the king or be unwilling to play it from that position. Zqxx gets a queen back. This will allow him to threaten a way out. So obviously the queen is going to beat every single possible thing that Sharp Object can play except for block. Okay, Zqxx indicating, yeah, I'm willing to just play it. I'm just willing to try it. See what happens. Oh, the quad power up, beautiful. 3 aces in the hand. But again, Zqxx is in a good spot here. So long as he doesn't get thrown, he is fine with this particular game state. And the nice thing about BBB is that while he can throw you, he can only throw you with king. So you really have to think whether he has it in his hand. If he doesn't, you can sit back and just sit and block. Because the worst thing that happens to you is you're going to take some chip damage and you are going to pick up a very important card from your discard. And right now his discard is absolutely loaded, right? He's got queens, he's got dodges that he may want to pick up. He can pick up another dragon form just to guarantee the fact that if he is thrown, he's going to be able to get out or reassume dragon form. Oh my god. Sharp Object with the call outs. Like, no way. You don't have any more attacks, and you still are not dragon bustering me, so I'm just gonna go toss you again. But again, every time he does that, he loses those kings. So we're back in close. There's 2 dragon forms in the discard, but Zqxx does not have to worry about anything on the throw side of things. And second gold burst for the guaranteed 4 aces in hand. Doesn't get a single one. Yeah, that makes that makes a lot of sense. Unlikely that he would not have all 4 since from way back when. Very tense matchup still. However, Midori cannot use his Dragon Buster unless he is actually in dragon form, so he needs those 2s to be able to do that. Now that he doesn't have it, it's a much different game state. So Sharp Object actually dodging there, looking for the ace super. Keep in mind, Zqxx does have 40 damage worth of aces in his hand, hence the dodge. It's very, so he's played both jokers. Sharp Object has played neither joker. He's actually very safe if he plays double ace. However, if double ace gets blocked, that is a lot of damage out of his hand for not a lot of result. However, threads the needle, finds the damage, leaves Zqxx at 8. Are we going to see another 2? Does Zqxx have another 2? Sharp Object picks up a single ace. Okay, double ace. Dominant speed attack, 0.2 speed. Zqxx only has dodge to beat that. Or block, I suppose. Block is not, certainly not ideal, but it is a way of beating that, for sure. Ooh, the brave double ace finds a throw, puts Sharp Object at 30. So Queen, Jack, Jack is lethal from this position. But he has to have Queen, a 10, 2 Jacks in hand. And he's already played 2 Queens, 2 Jacks, and we've got 2 10s. So very unlikely. And there it is. Sharp Object's like, nah, you're not going to get away with that again. Just going to double ace you. And Sharp Object goes up 3-2. So Zqxx gets a chance to counterpick. If he goes to Gwen, though, he is going to be facing Gloria in the next turn. So Got to pick a character that he feels comfortable beating BBB with, but that he also feels comfortable beating Gloria with. Okay, and that character is going to be Midori. So he feels comfortable enough in this matchup to try it again. He did come very close. Certainly for the back half of that game, Sharp Object was in lethal range. So I don't disagree with this decision. This does keep Gloria entirely off the plate. He just has to win this matchup twice before Sharp Object wins it once. So this is a character pick that I agree with. I would also probably pick this matchup. Ooh, there we go. Big starting damage. Starting off with a bit of a life lead here, which you did not have last time. It does mean that 2 aces are in the discard. You've always got to weigh that in your calculus. It is pretty much guaranteed that he gets to pick those up later, though. So with a gold burst to escape from range, unless he fails to do that, in which case things could be very, very dire. But having a gold burst blocked at range is pretty rough anyway, whether or not your aces have already been spent. Okay, Sharp Object finally is able to get range. Zqxx has a 40 hit point, or just about 40 hit point lead here that he can use to assemble the cards that he needs. See how this first range plays out. Wow, immediate gold burst. Like, no. Could be an indicator that he has more than one Joker already in hand, which would be a tough position for Sharp Object to be playing against. You see a block? Yes. But Zqxx does not spend anything and instead gets to play some Drazo, which Midori is always a huge fan of. Okay, block. I mean, I know a lot of people kind of make fun of block, like multiple block turns, but to me, it's like the most tense kind of Yomi that can possibly happen, right? Neither opponent is willing to do anything, just staring at each other, going, "You make the first move. I fold. I just fold over and over and over again, and everybody's hand keeps raising, so the stakes keep getting higher." Ooh, okay, dodge. Dodge into just a normal throw to get some value out of the normal throws. Is that a dodge into a 4? The forbidden dodge into 4 tech. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, that's just rough. Not a game-losing mistake. You lose 4 damage. That's not great. But you definitely worse things that could have happened there. Okay, there we go. Starts picking up those aces out of his discard. He's already got 2 in hand. So we've got a 3-ace Midori already. Oh wait, no, he already picked the ones up from his discard. Yeah. Okay. Nevertheless, same principle applies. Ooh! Wow! Very surprised by that throw call out. I think Sharp Object is also like, oh, I don't really get that one. that one's a head scratcher. I'll think about that one on my way home. So we do go to range. Still a fairly good life lead here. Yeah, and there we go. Immediate Dragon Form from Zqxx. He's going to play the queen or block mind games here. Yeah, immediate queen. Just trying to get out of range with as many cards as he can get. Sharp Object may play a game here where he just blocks a couple of turns in a row. Oh, wow. No, okay, goes in. I mean, being put at range, you really have... You have a lot of time. It certainly can feel... I mean, yeah, he definitely made the right call because allowing... Midori to get out of range there for free with Dragon Form on, 3 known aces in hand. That would have been pretty rough. Very strong normal turn here for BBB. 3 threes played though, so blocking even, very strong. Yeah, and therefore Sharp Object goes in with the king. Like, oh, you have a guaranteed even block? Great, I'll throw it. Kings do take a while to deal damage, though. 8 damage a turn is a livable amount of damage. Wow! The hardest possible 3-read I have ever seen in my entire life. Look at that. That is the 4th 3. That is nuts. Zqxx, you are a nut bar. Wow, I can't believe how hard of a call out that was. That was amazing. Sharp Object just like, what? Like, why? Why would you ever? Love to see it. Ah, looking for that king. Gets opened up by the 6. This is going to lead into an ace. We've got both jokers in this card. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, I do not know about that. Oh. I mean, his hand would have to be really specific. I guess, okay, so he has all aces in his hand. He's just looking for 2s. I guess that's the world that makes sense in. Yeah, oh, I don't know. I mean, he takes less damage than if he had just been thrown, so I suppose it's not bad. He just needs to get out and have a 2 in hand. Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm coming around on it. I see the logic, and yeah, good call on Zqxx's part. Yeah, just looking for 2s. Ooh, starting to get dodged. Sharp Object's like, I don't really need to fear queen from this position, do I? But this is not a tremendous amount of damage. Now, he does put him into a, I'm going to even normal you, I'm going to king throw you position here. Which is definitely to Sharp Object advantage. Both jokers are now gone, so only queen with spin will beat this mix-up. Nice block on Zqxx's part. Again, just digging for 2s. Yeah, tossing out 4s and 5s. We don't need those where we're going. Okay. Back dashes. Sharp Object. Wow, that is gross. That is the 2nd dodge he's played. Ooh, fadoofa. Okay, there we go. That is the combat win that Zqxx absolutely needed. Yeah, Sharp Object immediately starts powering up for more aces. I think that's the 4th ace. No, he picked it up from discard, so yeah, so 4 or 3 aces in hand. Whew. So that's 35 damage off of aces. Does not kill. Ooh, the undercut with the jack. Is this the rare jack into 8 into 2 jacks? Okay. Yeah, do not want to spend the cards. Single joker gets removed. Let's see. He prevented... Yeah, I mean, he needed to prevent 20 damage there, right? Like, if he doesn't face down, he takes 20. That puts him at 17. That's more than enough for either dodge into ace throw or just ace throw to clean out the game. So yeah, I like the Joker there. The thing I was thinking was like, oh, okay, do you want to spend the Joker there and not guaranteeing like a safe attack into some sort of with Joker backup against dodge into Final Dragon Buster? And brave ass king throw there from Zqxx, setting sharp object to the magical 20. Oh, and there it is. Does sharp object have the other Joker? Yeah, you absolutely spend the 20 here. He does. Okay. Still has 2 aces in hand, though, so fine to spend those aces there. 3 dodges spent. Lower and lower hand size, though, so does he have a dodge in the last 5 cards of his hand? Does he have another queen? Queen less relevant, and we're seeing some power-ups with dodges. Sharp object going all in on dominant speed attack plays. Tense moments. The tennis of throws from sharp object. Does he have a queen to make a bunch of pumps here? No, okay, doesn't really need it. I mean, if he has it on the next turn, it's also lethal. So, yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, so throw into queen pumped twice is exactly lethal. We saw Zqxx block there, so could not have another one of the dodges he needs. Or it could be a value trap. Oh, no! Oh, just went for it. And sharp object takes the set 4-2. Nicely played on his part. Nicely played on Zqxx's part. A lot of fun to watch that set. Really glad I caught that. And so kudos to Zqxx, finishing 3rd place in the tournament. And congratulations to Sharp Object for making it to Grand Finals, where he will be facing me at some point, probably next week. All right, thanks everybody for watching, and until next time, enjoy yourself some Yomi. Cheers.